recording. Oh, I gotta put you up. There you are. And there you are. And, oh shit. I'm having a rough time, Evan. There we are.
Are we in there?
I think so.
Are we there yet?
Starting. This internet, whew, I don't know, man. We'll see if we can get through it.
Yeah, I hope we don't have problems because I've been having a little bit of problems lately.
Man, we got just slammed. How can I share this?
You got some tornadoes kind of went around Decatur?
Yeah, it sounds like 5 of them.
Oh, I was hearing like 4 or 5. Okay.
Yeah. So, and let me do this. I'm putting this on my Facebook, Evan. Give me a second.
We got some rain. The neighbor said that the rain gauge had been at 1.5 inches, and then they left, and we had that huge downpour. And they said they came home and it was at the 5 inch mark. So 3.5 inches of rain, possibly in one day. I slept through most of it.
We needed the rain.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It's been
Yeah.
super dry here.
Yeah, and in the lake, it was screwing up my fishing.
Yeah.
So,
How does that affect fishing when you have just a massive amount of? Do the fish does it make them thrive?
yeah, because number one, it like fish, the warmer the water gets, the deeper they go. So if your water temperature is sitting at 78, they're going to go, 9, 10 foot down. Anything, they're going to, because it's colder on the bottom, so.
Uh-huh. And that's what they like. Okay.
Yeah. And then, the bad thing is when it raises and lowers like that, it affects the oxygen level. And that's why sometimes you'll see a big fish die off and shit like that, which they had in Texas a few weeks ago, all along the coast.
Ouch.
But yeah,
Huh.
you know what? There was a story, and I read it, and then I went back and tried to find it for the show, and it's gone. But these scientists are saying that the sun, the activity on the sun, is like the most they've ever seen, which, is going to warm our atmosphere a little bit if the sun's going crazy. But then all of a sudden, that story disappeared, dude.
Yeah. This is the year of climate shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're,
it
I mean, they're
is.
really like back in Davos, the WEF. John Kerry got up and he gave his big speech about how the climate is the most important thing, and how this is we need to act upon it now more than ever. And he got everybody up in arms and everything. And I was like,
He,
oh, here we go.
yeah, he's a fucking idiot. Because he's the one with the $1 million mansions and flying, personal jets everywhere. He's making more fucking emissions than, probably all of Decatur.
Yeah, yeah, he's one of them. The group that we're not in. Yeah.
Here's what I want to know, and here's what I want any of those climate activists to just answer me. What is our average temperature supposed to be? From the beginning of the Earth, what is the average temperature supposed to be? Because we don't know. Well, man, we're a speck. We are a speck. We have no idea what has happened before us unless it was written down. But I mean, just to see all the, all the shit they find and lost civilizations and everything like that, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying,
Yeah.
and I think we've said this 100,000 times. Humans can do a lot better with keeping our Earth clean. Some of these people are just douchebags. But
True.
I tell you what, driving an electric car, they said if everybody went to electric right now, you had no more fossil fuels. It would drop the temperature 0.0002.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any really big advantage
No, you're
ever
going to
of
be.
that. It'd be nice to have just for to be cheaper, for
Oh, I.
possibly as a consumer, but
Right.
other than that,
But is it going to be because your electric bill? They're going to hit you
oh,
on that.
oh, and then that can be controlled because if we're out of juice, if the grid goes down or whatever, everybody's stuck. And with gasoline, you can get around for a while, or if you can manufacture your own fuel, which is not impossible, you know, um, I would ever hate to be without an internal combustion vehicle
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
right now,
Right.
for the
Right.
next for a while anyway, for a long time.
Well, we've been.
It's the way eventually we're all going to be there, whether we like it or not. I think it's just we're going to be there eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's the truth.
Well, Evan, we've been doing a list to start the show since we don't do the list on Wednesdays anymore.
Yes, yes, sir. What do you got for us?
These are 12 of the most corrupt organizations in the world according to the internet.
Oh man,
We're
this
gonna
could be
agree.
juicy.
Yeah, we're gonna agree with some of these.
Let me guess some of the alphabet agencies.
That
Um,
is the first one on the list. The CIA.
oh no shit.
Yeah. And if you don't know, I know everybody wants to think our government is pure and wholesome. Just go read some of the shit that the CIA has done in the past. We're not going to get into it because we don't want to get flagged, but just I mean, you can check it out. Number, I don't know why it started at number two because the first one is just according to the foreignpolicy.com, corruption in America is currently the worst it's been in a decade. So that's number
Dang.
one. I think they're making number one America. So number
It
two,
sounds pretty legit, but
yeah,
okay.
yeah, the CIA.
Yeah.
Number
Okay.
three, big pharma.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
What I was Pfizer has had the biggest like liability payout. It was like single payout was the largest was man, yeah.
yeah, and they got that
Three
back.
3 million or
They
something, or
got that back
3 billion.
during COVID, dude.
Oh, they made crazy money. Yeah.
And we're going to touch on the COVID thing here in a minute. Number four, the NRA.
Interesting.
I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't agree with a lot of. I don't know. I'm not a member, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bold statement.
Number five, Purdue Pharma.
Oh, I've heard. If you watch one of those chicken movies, I can't remember the name of it. You know the guy that did Super Size Me
Yeah.
about McDonald's. Well,
Yep.
he bought a chicken farm and started and made and his started his own restaurant, operated for one day, and he showed how they operate and how they put all these farmers against each other, and it's kind of, you know, this guy's number one, this guy's number two, but somebody gets so high on the list that they hit them. They say, "Oh, you've got to upgrade this, you've got to do this, you got to spend this money." So they're always knocking you back down and making you compete against the others, and it's ruthless how they operate.
Right.
Horrible, these chicken farms.
Here's what it says. It says over 500,000 people have died since the late 90s to 2020 due to their criminality. 500,000 and untold other lives ruined. Watch Dope Sick on Hulu. Unbelievable they're still in business. So I want.
Purdue, my bad. I was thinking of the chicken.
Yeah, this is pharma.
I got sorry.
Yeah, you're all right.
Purdue, the Purdue family, yeah, they were the ones that had the They had the big payout for the Oxycontin, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
This one kind of surprised me. TurboTax, H&R Block, etc.
Yep, absolutely.
Lobbying the government and making sure U.S. citizens need to keep using them instead of government do letting the government do our taxes themselves.
It's they don't want it simple. They make it more complicated, so you just go to someone like them and just say fuck it, just enter in all the stuff, and then they make the money off of it.
Right.
Yeah, they lobby to make our taxes more complicated just so they can benefit. They could really simplify our whole tax system. It's insane.
Listen to this. This one, I've heard stories about this foundation, but kind of surprised it made the list. The Susan G. Komen Foundation.
Oh, I've heard very little of the money they generate actually goes to cancer research. It's just all their marketing and salaries.
Most breakthroughs would happen years earlier. I hope this brings awareness to their scam and how more than $1 billion has been scammed out of research to actually find a cure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad.
Uh, Nestle.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've heard about the Nestle water situation, but yeah, you should.
Yeah. Oh, yes, years ago.
Yep. So,
What do they say? They haven't been paying on their bill from like 1985 that they haven't renewed but they keep collecting water and bottling it.
yeah. And
And that CEO has said that water is not a human right.
right. What a douche.
Yeah, man. But Nestle, if you look up how much stuff Nestle owns, how many other companies, it's scary. They're
Uh,
huge.
Multi-level marketing corporations like Amway.
Oh, people have known that forever.
Yeah, that's a big pyramid scheme right there.
It's not just corrupt. I mean, it's just a scam.
This one kind of shocked me, dude. The IOC, the International Olympic Committee.
Huh.
Olympians
Yeah, interesting.
Olympians get paid zero for the appearances at the game. Any attempts to gain payment for athletes have been fought by the IOC in the name of preserving the spirit of the game.
Yeah, they're not professionals, so
Uh,
they're not paid.
Bach and the chief executives at the IOC take home over $13 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Why
Yeah.
can't you throw $50,000 to all them
All you can
athletes?
hope is you get a lot of sponsorship. And for some of your stuff, how do you sponsor someone that just swims? What are you gonna you What do you manufacture water? I mean, Wheaties, I guess, that kind of shit. But you can that's what Olympians can hope for, man. You could get all do the
Uh,
endorsements.
I don't know how to say this. Is it FIFA or FIFA?
Yeah,
The soccer company.
really.
Yeah, it says it's a highly corrupt organization. Followed the money, and they are not interested in the sport. The last World Cup was hosted in Qatar, a nation
Hmm.
with zero football tradition or infrastructure, horrible human rights violations, but they paid well.
Yeah, that's how it works there.
It kind of is, isn't it?
They got the money.
Number 12, Scientology.
Oh shoot. Yeah.
Better watch what you say about them. 13, I think this should have been damn close to number 1, like right next to the CIA. Ticketmaster.
It's a service, but yeah, I don't know about the corruption.
Yeah, I don't
Probably a
either.
high level of scam there, but I don't know about the corruption in the organization.
But Well, that's a list, Evan.
I mean, if people can make money, there's going to be, you know.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna. And I was I to go back to the big pharma thing and everything, and how they pretty much Congress and everything passed a law where if you got the injection and got sick or something like that, you can't sue them.
Yeah, that
So
was passed way back, I think, under Obama.
yeah, yeah.
Obama passed that, but yeah, there's no recourse to the pharmaceutical industry. And like I said before, they have twice the lobbying power of the oil industry. I mean, just think how big that is. It's scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a big, big, and they have the power to get things passed and,
Well,
push. And the people that bounce around it, it's
yeah.
horrible.
And I mean, the money that them big companies made and how many small business. You know the movie The Matrix?
Hmm.
I honestly think we're living that.
When I was young, I saw that movie and I thought it was really dumb. And then, I kind of got older and, looked around a little bit. And then I went back and watched that movie and I was like, well, oh,
Oh, yeah. Because
oh, I get it now.
during the pandemic, Amazon stocks went up 32%.
Yeah.
You had all these rich people, the Waltons, everything else, because remember, they closed mom and pop stores,
Tried to, yeah.
closed them down. And then, the only thing you could really go to was Walmart, order on Amazon, you know.
Your Lowe's and your Walmarts and all that shit got to stay open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, and the money they made. And then you see like members of Congress and everything putting, buying all them stocks up and shit. It's just I
Or
don't want
selling
to.
stocks
Yeah,
before it all happens too.
I don't want to get off into like a conspiracy theory or anything like that. But to me, and like the way we pay bills and everything. I mean, we go to work. Most people right now are kind of struggling. They're paying their bills, but that's about it. There's not much disposable income.
No, it's been absorbed by the grocery
Well,
bill.
who's getting all your money? It's these people that own all these big corporations.
Yeah.
It's that small 1%,
Yeah.
and well, the Supreme Court knocked down Biden's debt forgiveness. Okay, here's the thing that bothered me about like how some like ABC and everything, they went live and was talking about, oh, this is horrible, this is horrible. No, it wasn't, because that was taxpayers that were going to. Now, if the banks and the colleges would have got together and said, you know what, we're going to forgive this, we're going to forgive so much, but it wasn't. It was going to give money to the banks and the colleges. $400 billion to be exact.
It's sad because, man, I struggle with this one because here's the deal: everyone has had their bailouts.
Right.
The auto industry had their bailouts. The airline industries, the banks have had their bailouts. Everybody's had their bailouts. Have the people had their bailout?
No.
No. So we decide to give a bailout to the people. Yay! But then we decide who are we going to give it to? Oh, those people who only have student loans. I mean, that's completely that's where it goes wrong. It's sad.
Yeah. I mean, that would be like me asking everybody to pay my truck payment. And I know I've made that, comparison before, but it is exactly the same. I signed
Right.
that paper knowing what I owe. Now,
Right.
do I think that, look, the amount of money that goes into these colleges, already taxpayer funded money, tuition should be zero. We pay for that shit.
it shouldn't have gone up in the rate that it has the last 30, 40, 50 years.
Right. I mean, everybody should be able to go to college for free. Everybody. Because,
Or reasonable,
well,
yes.
I mean, look at the amount of money Pritzker just put into the colleges with the budget and everything. And to me, it's like, man, come on. And you're still charging them students that much? Where's all that money going?
It's crazy. I would love to be one of those professors that teaches like one class a week or something, and they make just crazy bucks, and the most of their time is sitting around in their office, jerking off on the computer or whatever, man. I know there's some professors that got it made. They
Oh,
make some bank.
yeah, they do. Uh, oh, 8:21. Let's go ahead and Evan, let's get some weird and wacky news from around the world. Man
See what's
named
out there.
man named in Supreme Court's gay wedding website ruling is married to a woman and never even contacted the web designer.
Oh, yes, I heard about this.
See,
These people are sad. This woman
man,
made this up.
I did enjoy this one. Philadelphia Towing Company charged a multi-million dollar catalytic. Oh God, dang it! Say it for me,
Cat-
Evan.
Catalytic.
Catalytic converter theft ring. They were towing these cars and they'd get them back to the shop, Evan. Chop. Well, it was like that when we picked it up.
Yeah. Yeah, you signed we're not liable for any damages done to vehicle or whatever,
Oh
you
my
know.
goodness. That is funny right there. Uh, Teacher fired after high court ruling because she had skipped work for 20 years. She said she couldn't comment because she was on the beach.
She skipped work for 20 years.
20 years. Why in the hell weren't you fired after the first, I don't know, 5 days?
It's one of those things where they like I remember having a teacher once that was, I don't know, terminally sick, and we had a substitute like most of the year. And I'm thinking, I wonder if after a while they just kind of forget. The next year comes around and they have a teacher in place for that classroom, and they just forget, and this person stays on the payroll. I
Well,
don't know.
well,
Good question.
yeah, I mean, I will tell you what, the teachers union is probably one of the most powerful unions in the United States right now.
Really?
I think so. Hell,
I don't know.
that I can't remember that chick's name. Boy, she rubs me the wrong way, but yeah, she's the one that pretty much kept the schools closed in New York and shit, and the big cities. So,
Hmm.
249 Post Malone design collectible cups stolen from a Houston Raisin Canes.
Gonna eBay them things, huh?
Man, yeah, that's how they're going to get caught.
Typically, yeah. Um, yeah, Craigslist. They're big collector's items, huh?
I guess so. Sewer truck spills Sewer truck spill covers cars and poop on Colorado highway.
Oh, that would be horrible.
Horrible. And the stench from that. Ugh. Ugh.
Horrible. Just got splattered on them. Hope nobody's driving a convertible.
Oh man. That happened in Chicago. Probably well, I tell you where I heard it is Animal Stories. I was listening to the old Animal Story albums, and you can still find them on YouTube, by the way. Um, they are hilarious. But
I remember them from back in the day.
there was a horse. They were having some kind of parade, and the guy honked and startled the horse, and was sprayed in a
Oh.
convertible. So, hey, he deserved it.
Dude, note to self. Don't ever touch the horn
No,
if a horse is around.
Evan, for $1, this semi truck spilled something that led to hazmat response on El Paso Interstate. This is something people use as a condiment. Evan, for $1, what condiment was spilled on an El Paso interstate?
Ketchup.
No. Hot sauce, Evan.
Oh, that would be a
Yeah, it probably.
nasty environmental.
Depending on what it is, I mean, yeah, you could not, because some of that hot sauce, you breathe that stuff in and, man, it burns your eyes and shit.
Oh, that's a very good call. I don't know. I was thinking, I guess from working at Tate and Lyle, that sugar was so like ecological that like I was thinking ketchup is pretty much high fructose corn syrup these days, you know?
Yeah, I don't think
Um,
I don't think hazmat would have to come for ketchup though. I think you'd just
no.
bring a couple fire trucks and spray that shit off the side of the road.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of glossed over the hazmat part. Yeah, good call. Hot sauce. Uh-huh.
Exploded toilet closes park restrooms in Washington.
Who did it?
Yeah, they don't. Someone threw an explosive and
Oh my.
it was probably an M80. The bathrooms are now closed for repair. That's only one of what the city officials are calling a rash of vandalism in public restrooms just since school got out.
I'm surprised they don't call it a terrorist attack like everything these days.
A
You
ter-
know?
oh, that's the same one. Oh, that lady was from Italy. After 24 years on the job, a teacher is fired for missing 20 of those years.
That's just awesome.
I love this headline. Cattle truck and burrito truck collide, causing beefy backup on I-80 for 7 hours.
Hit the burrito truck.
Man, that. Speaking of burrito trucks,
Yeah.
Thursday we worked out of town and we were going for breakfast, and we went and had breakfast at a little diner called Ott's, and it was old school. It had the bars at the, you know, at the front, and then just had a few booths. So it's an old school diner, and it hasn't much changed from probably when they opened. Man, that was the best damn breakfast I've had in a while.
Really? What was so fantastic?
I got this thing called the Ott's Haystack. It was 2 pieces of toast, shredded hash browns, 2 eggs, however you wanted, in your choice of meat. I picked sausage, and then they smother this in the best damn country gravy I've ever had.
Hmm.
And I couldn't eat half of that shit. So about 4 hours later, we go to lunch, and we go to Moe's Burrito Truck. And it's authentic. It's authentic Mexican. It is, no white dude running it. These guys. And man, I tell you what, I got 3 steak tacos and their sauce. Oh my goodness. Their sauce. I got the green sauce, which is mild, which had a kick. Then I tried the red sauce. Man, my lips burnt for 64 hours straight.
Yeah, I don't do the red sauce.
Oh, but it was good. It had a good flavor, but then that heat kind of kicked in. So
Yeah, red means stop.
if you're ever in Rantoul, Illinois, I suggest Ott's for breakfast, and then if Moe's Burrito Truck. Yeah, they're not quick, but they cook that shit fresh. So
Nice.
we waited a little bit, and there was a line, but it was well worth it. And I was already full from breakfast. I could not quit eating these steak tacos, dude. But I'm going to tell you what. I want to give props to my toilet because Thursday night I put a hurting on him. I put a hurting on him, and
These
I would also like to thank the makers of Angel Soft toilet paper, making sure my butthole didn't get scratched up too bad.
now these steak tacos are like strips of steak, like really really authentic, like
Yeah, yeah,
Mexican.
yeah.
That's nice. That's hard to find, especially on a truck.
And dude, I mean, they stuffed them where when you open the thing, I got three. They come in three, four, five, or six, and I got the three, and there was so much meat they could have gave me extra shells, and I'd have had another taco, but the meat was so tender, and I get the Mexican style with just a cilantro and onion. I don't get the American style with the flour tortilla. I like the thinnic shit with the corn, but
Yeah,
that's just me.
yeah. I gotta do corn anyway.
Yeah. A 64-year-old woman punched a bear in the nose and was bitten trying to save her dog, which she did. So, you don't mess with Granny's dog, man.
Punched it in the nose.
Punched it square in the nose, Evan.
Well, you got one shot. That's the one to do it. Get him. It's gonna do it or nothing.
People hire phone bots to torture telemarketers. Oh my God. I do that. I do it myself. I get, I don't know if I've told this on here, but I played along with this one for quite a while, but I had one that said I had a warrant out for my arrest. This dude couldn't even, he kept asking, "What's my name?" And I said, "Well, what's the name on the warrant?" And he says, "No, you tell me your name first." And I was like, "No." And he got mad. He got so mad he was cussing. And he's like, "The police are on their way if you do not give me your name." But he didn't say it like that. "If you do not give me your name,
In the name of Allah.
the police will be there at your door."
I can't imagine having a job as a telemarketer. I mean,
Oh
that
my
just
God.
it really must suck. Our buddy Dave, he did that once, and he's like, I went through the training and all that shit, and they sat me down at the desk, and he's like, my second call or whatever. You had to call about siding or windows or whatever and shit. And this guy mouthed off to him, and he's like, "Well, you know what? Fuck you." And he's like, "They were at my desk instantly." He's like, when they say, "Are these calls, monitored?" Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Like they were
yeah.
at my desk, and that was it. I worked there for an hour.
Well, I don't think this was so much telemarketing as scam.
Yeah.
And you really got to watch that. And hey, I tell you what, there's a guy. I don't remember his name, and I apologize. But he hunts these guys, and he finds out exactly where they are in India or wherever, and he messes with them. Like he'll get in
Nice.
because what they'll do is try to get in your computer using software that you download and install, and then they got all your information, and they try to
Mm-hmm.
get your bank account information. Well, what he does is he'll let them connect to his computer, then he goes in and destroys all their files and shit.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
I'm not.
No, I couldn't do that. Rival pickle companies duke it out in court over secret recipe. Let's see.
Rival pickle companies. We got okay. Who we got?
Uh,
Vlasic and what are the ones the good?
Grillo's Pickles has declared war on partner turned foe Patriot Pickle. Uh oh.
Uh-oh.
I think this is in England. Yeah, because I've never heard of Patriot Pickles or
Oh,
Grillo's.
you never know.
Oh, Dave's in Nashville, Tennessee. Hey, Dave, man, Big
Hey.
Monkey's in there. DC's in there. Claudia, how you guys doing tonight? We actually I have internet tonight, and I had it yesterday. It just was so weak. When I tried to start up my computer and tried to bring up Zoom, it wouldn't even connect. So,
Hmm.
uh, brother uninvited from sister's wedding over name she picked for twins. What? Brother uninvited from pregnant sister's wedding after slamming ridiculous name she picked for her twins. Oh my God.
Yeah, what you gonna name them?
I don't know. You got any guesses? I'm scrolling through the story.
Oh, the old urban legend, orange Jello and lemon Jello. No.
I, why isn't it saying?
Yeah. What was she gonna name
Stanford,
these kids?
Stanford and Yale.
Oh no.
Yeah, come on. That's
That's pretentious as fuck.
dumb.
Oh. Yeah.
Why don't you go with like Harold and Kumar or Moe and Curly?
Yeah, that's pretentious. That's horrible.
Yeah. Car crashes in the lobby of Northern Michigan Arby's restaurant.
Oh, rough one.
Yeah.
That happens.
Microscopic Louis Vuitton knockoff bag, narrow enough to pass through the eye of a needle, sells for more than $63,000. What the fuck you gonna put in there? A pube?
Yeah, you're gonna carry it.
There's some dumb people. Dumb people. Who would
That's
have
insane.
who would have bought that?
There's an insanely rich person that just has to have everything to feed their ego. I don't know. That's insane. That's gold though. That's awesome.
Mexican beer makers are using bugs to supplement barley.
Um, that doesn't sound good at all.
No, I wonder if it says what. Mexican entrepreneurs are using crickets to supplement barley in beer.
It's a
I've tried
they're
fried crickets, dude. I've tried
oh,
that.
I'm sorry.
No, they're kind of almost taste like you're eating like some kind of they're nutty. They have a nutty taste
Chocolate
to it.
coated?
Yeah, it was chocolate coated.
That would help.
Yeah, I had to try one though.
Um, hmm, okay.
So I don't know. If you're enjoying a beer, it could be filled with crickets.
I'm just thinking how it's what the fermentables there, or whatever in it. Huh. What do you
Uh,
know?
Pink receives large wheel of brie cheese from a fan at a UK show. Who the fuck is taking a wheel of cheese? You know what? I'm going to this concert. Let me go and grab this wheel of cheese I got sitting in the fridge.
I love you so much. I'm your biggest fan. Here's a wheel of cheese.
Although, didn't we do a story like last week where that wheel of cheese got stolen and it was worth like $60,000 or something?
I'd like to hear about some of the gifts that people like send celebrities. I bet it's outrageous. Some of the craziness things that
Um, Goodwill Goodwill store evacuated due to donated grenade.
if you're gonna pull that pin, will you wait till I get out the door
Man,
and then some? If you're one to test on the grounds.
California man gets prison for nearly $9 million phony cow manure to green energy investment scheme.
Could see that. So
France's
many scams.
France's Guardians of Champagne destroy 2,300 cans of Miller High Life. That
Oh,
that
that's
is still,
broke.
yeah, that's still going on, Evan.
Man, people need to be punched out. Don't be wasting good high life. It's quality beer.
Oh my God. This headline might be the best one yet. Cow hit by train falls on man peeing on railroad tracks, killing him.
Oh man, got hit by a cow while you were taking a piss.
What was he do? I mean, what was he doing pissing? If you know, I don't know. It just
Should have
sounds
been
weird.
watching his flock. The train's coming through. Watch your cows.
Semi stolen with $275,000 worth of beef.
Yeah, was about 7 or 8 steaks.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, we'll do a couple more here.
Whole trunk full, huh?
Cocaine worth $50 million hidden among bananas in the Netherlands.
Yeah. I bet there's cocaine just hidden places where they just keep buying because they have to, and they can't sell it. They don't have the market, but you got to keep buying, and they just keep stashing it. Sometimes those get turned over to the police, and after a while, it's like, I got so much coke. What do I do with it? It's
Toddler
nuts.
toddler infiltrates White House grounds by crawling through fence. They shot
This,
him immediately. No, I'm just kidding.
this what? This fence is not toddler proof.
Oh my
Some
God.
some kid could just crawl in and wreak havoc in the White
I
House.
guess. Bear down 69 cans of soda after breaking in a woman's car.
Oh man, I bet he had a sugar crash.
Oh, I bet she did too. Well, it's
He
that
was
time.
he was guzzling them like Andre the Giant guzzled beer.
Oh man, if you've never seen that picture, go look at Andre the Giant drinking a beer. Just Google that and look
Yeah,
how. I mean, it looks like he's holding one of them 8 ounce cans.
yeah. What did he drink, like 112 once in one sitting?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think it was I can't remember who the wrestler was. It might have been Hulk Hogan when they asked, and they said they had rented a van, and Andre was like, "I need 2 cases of beer," and they're like, "All right," They thought that he's getting it for you know, for the trip they were doing, like the circuit or whatever, and they said by the time they hit the first arena, which was only a couple hours away, he had went through 48 beers and would go
Wow.
wrestle and
It
then
was probably nothing to him. Yeah.
uh well, it
Wow.
that is your strange and wacky news from around the world. And now we're going to end it like we do every week at Dave Moreland, Bozo Criminal of the Day. uh New Mexico, cops were called to a report of a suspicious man in a park next to the Moongate Church. That's kind of a weird name for a church. Upon arrival, the cops found our bozo placing some items into his backpack. He then offered up a series of excuses to explain his presence at the church at midnight. First, he said he was there to use the church's electricity to charge his laptop. And what about the items he was placing in his backpack? His reply, "They're not drugs, it's gunpowder." And what's that pipe with the wires attached? He said it isn't. And isn't that a battery? Well, you guessed it. He was making a pipe bomb.
Oh no.
And he had a bunch of syringes. Well, he said that's not heroin, it's methamphetamine.
Okay, he's still
He's
going to jail.
he was arrested, Evan.
Thank God. Say
Uh,
no to meth.
we got another one. Here we go. This one's from West Virginia. It seems there have been a number of break-ins in the area, and apparently someone decided to take matter into his own hands. Police responded to a call at a break-in in a secluded cabin that had been the target of thieves on several occasions. Only this time the cops uh, find inside are four bozo would-be thieves were lying on the ground with their hands tied behind their backs and tires on their getaway vehicles flattened.
Oh,
Our bozos told officers that a masked man surprised them, quickly subduing them and reading them their rights while making a citizen's arrest. He then just as quickly disappeared, and they are still looking for the. He's like a superhero.
yeah. Yeah, he is. Stop looking for him. Let him be.
It says, no doubt, in a cloud of dust with his faithful Indian companion by his side.
Really?
Bravo. Bravo. We need
Yeah,
more of that. We need a lot
agree.
more of that. Evan, you got anything?
No, just kind of been slow. No, I really don't. Just kind of been chilling lately, staying indoors. We had these toxic clouds and everything going over, and
If you don't know, Canada should be completely burnt down by now. This has been going on for freaking months. But last week, for some reason, that, and it's kind of weird that the way the wind's blowing, coming from the north like that, and blowing that smoke all the way down here, because in the summer, usually we get a southwest wind.
yeah.
So for it to come,
Um, yeah, really strangeness.
it is. But yeah, I mean, man, it was
And the
just,
smell, and in Indiana, they were saying a lot of that shit was to the smoke, but there was that BP had that gas bleed off in Indiana, Northwest Indiana. Um, I don't know. So a lot of people are complaining about that, the smell and everything, and they were trying to blame a lot of the smell on the smoke. That the you know I don't want to get conspiracy here, man.
we have been this whole show.
I know, but the people like, oh, the sun and the rain, and it separates it into formaldehyde and benzene. It's like, no, man, we've all smelled, forest fire. We were out in Vegas years ago. You remember that when you could smell it? We were in
Yeah.
Vegas and they were
Yeah.
having those fires. We went up in the Eiffel Tower and it was like, okay, I've smelled wildfires before, and this shit does not smell like wildfires. So there's been some craziness going on, and
Yeah. They're,
it's scary. It's nuts right now. There was, I think, in Tennessee, there was other lithium leaks, mine something or other going on there, and it's like, what the fuck is happening?
yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's scary.
The minerals and shit they have to mine for these electric batteries is, oh, it's horrible.
Well, just the environmental, like, I don't know if it's just everything is getting so everybody's got complacent in the world. Everybody's kind of gotten into a give a fucks. I don't give a fuck state. You know what I mean?
The,
And like we just saw this train wreck in Ohio, a couple months ago, and what it did, and it started making me think. There's a place for where I live. It's 15 miles where there's a factory where they make this stuff. This vinyl chloride or whatever.
oh yeah.
Do you remember the explosion in the plant in Illiopolis?
Oh yeah. That wasn't that the DuPont plant?
Um, it wasn't DuPont. I can't remember
Oh,
now who it was. I worked with a guy that was in that building when it exploded. There was five of them, and he's the only. And he was inside. He ended up outside of the building, but he started inside of the building, and he was blown out of it. He was the only one that lived. And he was like, he was telling me, he's like, they were doing the setup, and I know what they were doing, and I think I know what they did wrong, but they couldn't investigate it because everything was gone. But they were making, vinyl chloride or whatever,
Formosa.
what they used to make, PVC pipe and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But
Yeah.
he's like, I think they had one valve left open, and if something went backward and blah blah blah, and when it happens, it's just, it was kaboom. Like I said, he was blown, literally blown out of the building. And
Man.
but it just makes me think about, all this stuff that we've got going on and how close to home it can be when you have these, disasters.
Man. Oh, Evan, remember that man that thought he had hit the jackpot and his ticket was stolen by the cashier? The
Yeah.
cashier handed him another ticket and said, "No, this wasn't a winner." Well, that man finally collects his $3 million, and the cashier is in jail.
Good.
Yeah, what a douche.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'd bail them out and be like, I hope you learned your lesson.
yeah. And the Bud Light drama hits a new low. Factories are beginning to close as sales continue to nosedive. Boy, you know what? That is a big, big wake up call to stay the fuck out of politics.
It just companies need to just chill, just sell your damn product,
Yeah,
advertise it, and just why you have to just I don't know. And yeah, this has gone extremely overboard as far as Bud Light. I mean, we've all seen the cancel cultures on everything, but Bud Light, this has been extreme.
man.
And the thing is, Bud Light, what do people do? I mean, they're going to jump to Coors Light or Miller Light. It's all still owned by the same company,
I
and
know.
everything. And so, one of Vicky's friends sent her a picture like, I don't know if I like this, but here we are drinking it. It was Bush Light. I'm like, it's the same fucking
Yeah,
thing.
it's
It's
Anheuser Busch. I
Bush
mean,
Light and Bud Light. I Most people wouldn't be able to tell in doing the Pepsi challenge too. And you can throw Natty Light in there too. It's pretty much all the same.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm wondering, like, okay, overall, how much is this affecting Budweiser and InBev in general and everything? But on the other hand, it's like, wow, it's this has been a total collapse of this huge market that was the staple. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I mean,
But
any concert, anywhere you went, Bud Light, that's what you saw in people's hands.
yeah,
And
well, my dad's bar, you had twice as much storage for Bud Light at least that you did Miller Light or Budweiser. I know at least two times, maybe three times, because down I think at the other end they had Bud Light down at the other end too. So yeah, that was like I said, not a staple, but geez, that's the biggest selling product.
yeah, so if you're a billion-dollar corporation watching our podcast, don't jump into them social issues. Stay the fuck out of them. Say, and
Yeah,
you know, I don't think it was so much uh, them going, giving that Dylan Mulvaney or whatever. I don't think it was so much them giving him the cans or whatever. Uh, I think it was more the marketing director and that interview she did. And then once that started going viral, and she was pretty much bashing all the Bud Light drinkers. Well, we're going in a different direction. Well, you sure the fuck did.
no, you're not.
I'm almost going to bet that chick will never be a marketing director for any other company ever again.
Yeah, yeah, she pretty much sealed her fate with that. I don't know if they eventually, like they said, they didn't fire her, but what did they say? She'd been removed from the
Yeah.
position or put on like a temporary leave, which means we're eventually going to fire them down the road. Um, yeah, that's been a really interesting one because it's been the hugest backlash I've seen. I mean, other companies have done, stuff at that level, but this has just been
Man,
insane. And poor Bud Light, walking off with his tail between his legs, like you lost that battle,
man, yeah. And they, I don't know. I think people kind of saw through them trying to fix it and everything. They just should have came out and said, you know what, we fucked up. We should have never got involved in such a hot button political issue, and then just dropped it and
Yeah,
said,
but they
"Work."
did their unapology letter,
Yeah, and it didn't
their
work.
apology letter.
It did not work.
Yeah,
But
interesting times.
yeah, it is. It is. But anyway, Evan, we are. I think we're gonna call it a show. And like I
Alrighty.
said, we're usually on Sundays, and I'm sorry we had some bad storms roll through Thursday night. There are people just getting their power on today. We had
Wow.
we had crews from Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, all down south coming up to help us. A big shout out to the linemen that were out there working with, and I mean, we pretty much had 3 days of bad weather, and then the breaks in between. Um, they came and they did their damn best, and so we tip our hat to the linemen that got my power was actually out, and Thursday when I got home, and it didn't come back on till Friday. So I was kind of lucky. I'm not going to complain about my internet not being 100% yesterday because there was people that fell asleep in a hot ass house. So my internet, fuck it, you know. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure where we are now. Hold on, let's see. Illinois power
Yeah,
outages.
we got lucky here. I'd say in the last week we've only had the power flicker twice. And that was the first time I think we've had a power flicker in 2 years. And I've been meaning to fire up the generator because I haven't ran it in, 2 years. I need to just make sure in case anything goes down, you know, she'll
Uh,
run some fridges for me or something.
as of as of this morning, they still had 26,930 people in Central Illinois without power.
Wow.
So that was
Bummer.
this morning. No, that was at 7 a.m. So I am sure that number has probably dropped significantly.
Yeah.
I got a runny nose for some reason.
That's not funny.
No, it's not. But
When it's not.
uh, a severe storm line that left more than a 500-mile stretch of damage across Illinois. Wow, 500 miles. And
Dang.
Chatham and places like that, man, they got hit hard. So
Bummer.
yeah, I hope
We got lucky.
yeah, and hopefully I haven't heard of any deaths or anything like that. So let's hope that keeps up. But you
Yeah.
guys, Evan, you got anything you want to say?
Nope. I'm good to go.
All right. Well, we hope you have a happy 4th of July. Um, just remember when you're celebrating tomorrow how gangster as fuck George Washington was. Because you can look this up, but when countries went to war back then, it was an unwritten rule that you did not shoot the commanders on the horses. Anybody on the ground was open target, but you never aimed at anybody on a horse. So when the Brits came in, George Washington, first thing he did, killed every man on a horse. He didn't, but that was his plan. So look it up. I'm not lying to you. And that's how we won the Revolutionary War. Because
Nice.
you had a bunch of Brits here that did not know what they were doing. You took out their commanders. They didn't have a prayer. So look it up. It's a great story. I don't know if it's
Wow.
true because nobody was alive to verify it. I wish George Washington was alive. We'd call that motherfucker. You'd think he would still
Yeah.
have wooden teeth.
You know how stories go, and what do they say? The winners write the history books, you know.
Yeah, they do. They sure do.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, damn, we did get an hour. We did not have much. Even Evan says, I don't know what we're going to talk about.
That's every week.
Yeah. But we found an hour of wholesome family entertainment. I think I only used the F word like 13, 14 times. So there you go.
Oh, wow.
Guys, we love you. Happy 4th of July. Peace and be good to one another.
Good night.
I don't even think we're still recording, but I don't even think we said what show number we were on.
It was like 86, wasn't it?